For those of you, if I said this before, we were having audio trouble. You have two benedictions available to you. Rob's "Heal Us, O Jesus," and Jim's "God be with you till we meet again." And we're going to start with those in that order: "Heal us, O Jesus," then the "God be with you till we meet again." They're in the Dropbox. If you haven't accessed them yet and you are scrambling to do that, don't worry about it. We'll get to them again. So, but that's where we're starting tonight. Heal us, O Jesus. Okay, it is 7:10. Let's go ahead and begin for the folks who are here. We're going to start with Rob's brand new "Heal Us, O Jesus," and we'll do it a couple of times. So here we go. 2, 3, and.
Through this time of stress, take away all bitterness. Heal us, O Jesus, cleanse us, O Jesus, walk with us, Jesus, ease our pain. Heal us, O Jesus, cleanse us, O Jesus, breathe into us your peace.
And for those who are in the alto section, either first or second, Lauren was just singing the second alto part there at peace. Let's do it just one more time. How are our numbers?
Up to 43.
Yay, 43. 2, 3, and. Here we go, ladies, and.
Heal us, Jesus, ease our pain. Lead us back to joy again. Bring us through this time of stress. Take away all bitterness. Heal us, O Jesus, cleanse us, O Jesus, walk with us, Jesus, ease our pain. Heal us, O Jesus, cleanse us, O Jesus, breathe into us your peace.
And make sure you mark in your music to make it, not that we just didn't do it, we did well, but remember that the word is your and not your peace. All right, let's have a look at Jim's "God Be With You." Go a tad slower than what we just were. 2, 3, and.
God be with you till we meet again. I his counsels guide upon you, with his sheep securely fold you. God be with you till we meet again.
Good. For choir in measure 11, make sure that you know that the tenors are going to move from a G sharp to a G natural. So sopranos, altos, basses, be aware of that and hang in there with the tenors and don't release until they have moved. I just got a text from Cindy that says she doesn't see those pieces in the Dropbox.
They're in a folder that's called Benedictions in the Dropbox. I just put them in there today.
Okay. Dropbox folder named, oddly, Benedictions. So if you're on an iPad or an iPhone or a phone, that may be why you're having, I don't know if that's what's making you have trouble, but they are in there. We're going to do that. God be with you one more time. Watch out for making sure that you know what you're singing in measure 6. By his counsel's guide uphold you. It'd be really easy to type those words out and for them to really not sound like they mean much. I would like for you to lean on the word fold. I would like for uphold you to be close to that, but not quite as big as fold you when you get there. Okay? Here we go. One more again. 2, 3, and.
God be with you
Till we meet.
till we meet again. By his counsel's guide uphold you, with his sheep securely fold you.
A little bigger still.
God be with you till we meet again.
Good. Very good. All right, now we're going to look at the Christmas welcome. And we're going to start after that crazy bar. Did I? I think I want to start at 21. Maybe let's start on page 6 and see. That's after that 15:8 stuff. So, Rob, would you just remind us of this in measure 21? This is like earlier in the piece. So it feels like it's in 4 when it's in 12, and it feels like it's in 3 when it's in 9:8. So we start in the 12:8, measure 21, welcome Yole. There are going to be some diction questions coming up, but I think I have the answers. 1, 2, 3, and.
Welcome you forever and day. Welcome you. Welcome you. Welcome you.
1, 2, and.
Welcome you in good array. Welcome you in good array in worship of the holy day. In worship of the holy day.
1, 2. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. If you look at the top of page 8, these metronomic markings come from the click track, and I understand that we will be using a click track when we record this. So basically what this is telling us is this is a major relaxation at the tempo at the top of page 8. So be ready for that. Also, if you would look at the bottom of page 7, you know what I always say about parts that are hugely separated, especially soprano and alto. Look how far the sopranos are away from the altos. Altos are on an E, and the sopranos are over an octave above that. And it doesn't get any better until the word day. So we'll need a lot from the altos, lots of support from the bottom parts as well. Let's start there at measure, actually we're going to go on and then we're going to come back. Look at page 8. Can I hear the men singing, which this time, Jeff, we have a tenor and a bass. So Jeff's going to sing bass. Obviously, Jake's going to sing tenor. And then in a minute, we'll go back and do the baritone part. But in measure 33, guys, welcome. 1, 2, 3, and.
Welcome, 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 welcome.
Good, and Yeah, there's another relaxation there at the top of that page, measure 9. It's easy. Let's do it again, and then we'll talk about how to really make that musical. Here we go. Measure 33, men. 2, 3, and.
Welcome, 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 welcome.
Yeah, and the reason I put all those tie-overs, I'd like for that to just be sort of a bed that the top parts, the ladies' parts, are just, it's like the support for the whole thing. Can we do it again? And Jeff, you do baritone this time. Jeff and Jake. 2, 3, and.
Welcome, welcome.
Carry over.
Welcome, welcome.
Of course, it's a challenge to ask two people to do all that in one breath, but good job, guys. Measure 33. Grace, would you sing the first soprano part? And don't come in yet, if you would, Lauren. Here we go. Measure 33, first soprano. 1, 2, 3, and.
Welcome be ye Stephen and John, welcome children everyone, welcome Thomas, Martyr everyone.
Let's try that again. Sorry. Measure 33. 2, 3, and.
Welcome be ye Stephen and John, welcome children everyone, welcome Thomas, Martyr everyone, welcome you forever and ever.
Good. And now, would you sing second soprano, Grace? 2, 3, and.
Welcome be ye Stephen and John, welcome children everyone, welcome Thomas, Martyr everyone, welcome you forever and ever.
Good. Now let's go back, and if you'll do second soprano one more time, and Lauren, if you'll join us this time. We're starting in measure 33 with second soprano, and then alto will join. 1, 2, 3, and.
Welcome be ye Stephen and John,
Welcome, children, everyone.
welcome Thomas, Martyr everyone,
Welcome you forever and day.
Good. Good job. Let's all put it all together. Go back to bass, if you would, Jeff.
Okay.
And go back to first soprano, if you would, Grace. And we'll keep going this time at the bottom of page 9. Here we go. Measure 33. 2, 3, and.
Welcome, children, everyone.
Thomas, Martyr everyone,
Forever and day. Welcome you.
And.
Welcome you.
1, 2, and.
Welcome you in worship of the holy day.
Stop. Remember that we said last week that it is as written for the altos, so it feels like against itself, tenor part and alto part, but that's the way it should be. Can we take tenor and bass at measure 41? Here we go. 3, 4.
Welcome your in worship of the holy day.
Good. Now alto join us. I'm sorry, it's alto and bass that feel like they're against the tenor part. Here we go. Sorry about that, Jake. 1, 2, 3, and.
Welcome your in worship of the holy day.
Okay, I want to try that again.
I started too high. Do you want the tenor right now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you.
But I'm sorry, I lied. Right now I'm going to have the alto and bass.
Sounds good.
2, 3, and.
Welcome you in good array in worship of the holy day.
Yeah, and make sure we all are right in the middle of that beat because it is a true unison. Can we add tenor back in? Pretend we did that 7 times, and now we're adding the tenor back in. 2, 3, and.
Welcome your in God array, in worship of the holy day.
Yeah, make sure that's right there. Now let's have first soprano and alto in the answering text in worship of the holy day. Here we go, ladies. And 1, 2.
In worship of the holy day.
Can we do it one more time? Here we go. And 1, 2.
In worship of the holy day.
Sorry, I thought we were in 9/8. We're in 12/8. Can we do that one more time for me? And 1, 2.
In worship of the holy day.
Good. Once more with second soprano instead of first soprano. And 1, 2.
In worship of the holy day.
Good. Now I'll skip over to the next page where you come in at measure 51. Did my screen mirroring stop?
Yes.
Here. Sorry about that.
You're good. It's not on the screen.
Okay, I did. It's back.
Okay.
In case you need it. Here we go. Measure 51. And 3. And
Welcome be the good New Year. Welcome all that have here. Welcome be ye all that been here. Welcome you forever and day. Welcome you in good array, in worship of the holy day. Welcome you in good array. Welcome you in good array, in worship of
let's go back. Let's go back. Where did we go awry? On page 13? Let's have in measure 57 alto, tenor, bass first. Here we go. 2, 3, and
worship of the holy day. Welcome you all in good array. Welcome you all in good array, in worship of the holy day.
and
For your is long, the make is merry.
good. Let's go back. There was one spot.
Jim Roman has asked the question if the bass and tenors could look at measure 54. That's where he's starting to get off track himself.
He's in the room. What does he want? We can do that. Can I say one thing? Because I thought you were going to say my spot, Jim, which was tenor and bass. In the places like, look at 59. And sopranos are doubling the bass part. But there are notes that are in unison and suddenly we're not, but then we come back into unison. So I noticed the D at the downbeat of 59, the E at the downbeat of 60. Those are really telling as to whether or not we're, really on track. So, having said that, let's have soprano and bass at 59. And Jim, I will come back to your spot, I promise. Measure 59, soprano, bass. 2, 3, and.
Welcome you all in good array. Welcome you all in good array, in worship of the holy day.
That's good. That's good. That's the idea. Now can we have bass and tenor at 59? 2, 3, and.
Welcome you all in good array. Welcome you all in good array, in worship of the holy day.
Yeah, it's tempting to get faster and faster.
Yeah.
Try not to do that. Okay, now we're going back to measure 53 to hear tenor and bass. 53. 2, and we'll keep going, but ladies don't come in. 2, 3, and.
Welcome be all that been here, welcome you forever and day. Welcome you all in good array, in worship of the holy day.
That's good. That's good. Now let's go back and add. We're going to start at measure 53, and we're going to attempt to do it to the end, and then we're going to leave this piece and go to Rob's Of the Father's Love. Look at measure 53. Don't get faster because it's like the black slope. You know, it's not always our friend. Here we go. Measure 53. 2, 3, and.
Welcome be all that been here, welcome you forever and day. Welcome you all in good array, in worship of the holy day. Welcome you all in good array, welcome you all in good array, in worship of God of worship of the holy day. For your is love, now make us merry.
3.
Welcome you forever and day. For your is love, and make us merry.
Yeah, we're not going to worry about 67 and 68 right now. It's tricky that the last two measures get so difficult. Okay, good job. Let's look at Of the Father's Love. Remember that the first measure, the 5/4 bar, just repeats. It's just random ringing handbells. So it might go on for, who knows, could go on for 30 seconds. And then we'll begin. Here we go. Soprano 3 and.
May the worlds began to be. He is Alpha and Omega.
The source, the ending, He.
Of the things that are that have been.
And that future He shall see.
Evermore and evermore.
O ye heights of heaven, adore Him. Angel hosts His praises sing.
Cause dominions bow before Him.
And extol our God and King.
Let all tongue on earth be silent.
Every voice in concert bring.
Evermore and evermore.
Evermore and
Evermore and evermore.
He is Alpha and Omega.
Evermore and evermore. Evermore and evermore. Christ to thee with God the Father and all Holy Ghost to thee. Hymn and chant and high thanksgiving and unwearied praises be. Honor, glory, and dominion and eternal victory. Evermore and evermore. And evermore and evermore.
2, 3. And.
Evermore and evermore.
Sneak a breath and come back in. Improve the pitch the whole time you hold it. Sound like you can do this all day long. And likewise, as the bells fade out, it could last a very long time. So sneak a breath and come back in. It's going to be super defaultish for us to sing, "Let no tongue on earth be silent," sort of paint by number. And I'm not talking to these soloists, I'm talking to the whole choir, especially trying to put this together via the screen. It could feel like the safest option. And the truth is, I think there's a much better way. It may not feel very secure at first, but let no tongue on earth be silent. This music was written long before bar lines. And bar lines, somebody once said, somebody famous, I don't remember who it was, that the bar lines are tyrannical. And it's really easy to just sort of make it like this if we're not careful. We're going to do it one more time from the beginning. I know when it divides that we have some issues about that. We will get those things learned. Right now, Grace is singing first soprano, and you're sing second tenor, Jake. Mm-hmm. Okay, one more time.
So Sid, you still want me singing first?
First soprano,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. And when you're at home practicing this yourself, of the Father's love begotten, really let it be watercolory. Here we go, the bells. You play bells so well, Rob. Here we go.
Of the Father's love begotten,
May the world began to be. He is Alpha and Omega.
He the source, the ending, He.
The things that are, that have been.
And that future ye shall see.
Evermore and evermore.
O ye heights of heaven, adore Him.
Lots of shape.
Angel hosts His praises sing.
Cause dominions bow before Him.
And extol our God and King.
Lots of shape.
Let no tongue on earth be silent.
Every voice in concert ring, evermore and evermore.
And we're growing.
Evermore and evermore.
Lots of shape. And
He is Alpha and Omega. Evermore and evermore. Evermore and evermore.
it grows. Here we go. Grows. 1, 2, and
Christ to thee with God the Father and the Holy Ghost to thee. Him enchanted high thanksgiving and unwearied praises be.
lots of shape.
Honor, glory, and dominion and eternal victory. Evermore and evermore. Evermore and Evermore and evermore.
Let's do that one more time. I think we can tune that better. Once again, measure 45. 1, 2, and.
evermore and evermore.
And for people who know their hymns, which happily is a lot of people in Methodist Church, you could just sing Evermore and Evermore and then know exactly what hymn it came from. So especially when we get into that Evermore and Evermore, as that sort of layers and layers and layers itself, all of those need to be super shapely. Evermore and evermore. Almost romantic, you know? Very, very shapely. It's 7:40 on the nose. I have a little gift for Ryan. For making all this possible. You have to open it now.
On camera?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Mom. Wasn't expecting to be on camera tonight, so I'm not camera appropriate.
Oh.
I'm just let it drop. What is this? Okay, that's kind of cute.
Apollo 13.
Blast off.
It's amazing what we're doing. Thank you all for being here. Tune in tomorrow night for the choir gathering for some news about how we're doing this and moving forward. It's going to be great. Thank you all. Thanks for being here. Bye.